Hi guys! This week I wanted to talk to you about something very serious. Well, not serious, but seriously frustrating. And it is the struggle. And let me tell you, the struggle is real. As you can see, I am in a bit of a different venue today. I am hiding in my bedroom in my gym clothes, like all sorts of scrubbed out, because the struggle is real. I have been having such a hard time this week, and you might have heard a little bit about it if you follow me on Twitter. And some of you guys have been just so super encouraging, so thank you for that. But it's just like I feel like I'm stuck in the biggest slump right now. Every time I sit down to try and write, I end up just like banging my head against the wall or the computer or whatever is closest because I have just hit a massive wall. So I wanted to take it to you guys for author confession this week. And I wanted to see if you had any suggestions for me. So my question for you this week is, what do you do when you hit writer's block or when you just run into a massive wall? Because between Alice and Peter, I mean, I've got 2 works in progress. 3 if you count days after I died, which I haven't been working on, and I feel so bad. Poor Callum. But I've got 3 works in progress, and I've got nothing. So please help me out. What do you do when inspiration is just non-existent? Because I'm telling you guys, coffee isn't working. Coffee is failing me. I don't know what to do. So help me. What are your suggestions? Tips, tricks, really like rituals, anything at this point I will take. So please comment below what your suggestions are and anything that you think will help. I would appreciate it. After you're done with that, check out this week's confession. All right, guys, today my guest is Mr. Jesse Smith. He is the author of the retelling Arthur is Dead that is currently being edited for the querying process. Jesse, can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Well, thanks, and thanks very much for having me on. I have been working on Arthur is Dead for an embarrassingly long time. Originally got the idea, it started out as a short story that was going to be just a bunch of characters doing random things, and then I had the idea to sort of merge it with the Arthurian legends because I've always been such a huge fan, and I started on this about 18 years ago, and then started over completely in 2013 with a new voice, a new direction, and a new way of presenting the story. And so I've written it since then up to about 150,000 words. And I think in the meantime, reading the Arthurian legends to my son at bedtime was a big influence on getting me interested in the story, or re-interested in the story, because I've always been.
So you've been working on this for a really long time.
Well, I haven't been working on it continuously the whole time, otherwise it would be. But yeah, it's been kind of like a lifetime, because there was the original version, and then I just started over completely. So
wow,
it's a very long-term project for me.
Did it hurt when you started over? Like, did it rip out a piece of your soul when you got rid of all of those words?
You know what happened? I temporarily lost the original draft. So when I started over, it was because I didn't have it. And yes, that did hurt because, losing your words is just kind of, like you say, losing a piece of your soul. The good news is I found it eventually. But even better news is that the newer version is much more readable. It's
Well, that's good. At least it was beneficial to you. So you mentioned that you got the idea kind of from reading bedtime stories to your son. Are there any other influences that you had in writing this retelling?
oh yeah. Once I had the idea that I was going to do it, I decided to do some serious research, and so I got a book. I got an original copy of Mallory's Morte d'Arthur, and I got the alliterative poem and a bunch of other different versions. I got Marion Zimmer Bradley's version, and I just sat down and I immersed myself in reading nothing but various retellings of the Arthurian stories for a couple of years. Tennyson is really good, highly recommended. The Ideals of the King, and I had to make a list at the back of the book of all my references because there's just so many of them. And the Mabinogion, which is like the original Welsh version of the stories before the legend crossed the channel into France and was romanticized. It was this bardic system of stories about an old warrior chieftain, and so they're very, very different in tone, and the adventures are a lot more fantastical, but it's a lot of fun, and so I managed to integrate some of that into my version as well. It was a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to work on, and I hope people will enjoy it. I did kind of twist the story. You had mentioned the twist earlier.
Yes.
My version does not have any magic. It's all just a straight telling, and it's all set in modern times. So they're like modern, relatable characters, people that you could meet at a business meeting. Because in my version of what you would think of as Camelot is a business that they set up and run. It's kind of like Google or something.
Huh.
I know it's a little weird, but it hopefully it works. I'll have to.
Well, it definitely sounds like an original idea for sure. So, and I love that you're doing a retelling because I personally love retellings. And you also mentioned that you're not just working on Arthur, you're also working on a Greek mythology retelling. I love Greek mythology.
That's great. Well, I grew up on the Greek myths just the same way I grew up on the Arthurian myths, and I read the Greek myths to my son at bedtime also, as well as Norse mythology. There may be a tie-in later. I haven't got there that far. But as I was working on the Arthur, in the notes to Tennyson, it said that he's referencing Ovid's Metamorphoses in some section of his poem. And I was like, I've never read Ovid. So I got myself a copy of the Metamorphoses and sat down with it. And I mean, it's huge. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's really, really long. But Ovid's crazy. He's not what you think of when you think of like Greco-Roman mythology as sort of, I don't know, boring and old. When Ovid tells about the fights of the centaurs, it's gory. I mean, it's really exciting to read this stuff because it feels kind of inappropriate in some ways, but that's what gives it its excitement. But Ovid is very descriptive also, and just has this incredible facility with language. So reading that, I was inspired to get started on this other story that you're talking about, and I'm still writing that one. But my general idea with that was, what if the gods were people, just normal people like you and me? Kind of the same thing as with the Arthurian stories, where you take out the magic. In this one, you take out the fact that they're gods, and you make them, business people and politicians instead. And it makes it a really dark story, but it kind of all fits together and makes sense in a way too.
What is a genre that you would not write at all?
that I would never write was horror, just because my background as an English major, I'm used to writing things that are a lot of it takes place in the mind, and in horror, it's so physical. It just doesn't speak to me in the same way, I guess. But I mean, I've read some. I read some Stephen King when I was younger, and I enjoyed it. And on the right night, I'll sit down and watch a gory horror movie. But I don't think I would ever write a book in the horror genre. I don't know. It's just not me.
Well, thank you so much, Jesse, for chatting with me today. I did want to kind of put you on the spot, if I could, and see if you had a question that you would like our viewers to confess to you.
I would like to hear from the confessors. What is the strangest place you have worked on your work in progress? So, strange place like at work or outside or whatever strange place it might be. I think it'll be a conversation.
Yes, I think we'll get some very good answers. Especially, I like your background right now. It's, I think, the most unique background we've had yet. So
I'm very lucky to be here.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been fun talking to you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks a lot.
Bye,
I'll
Jesse.
see you soon. Bye-bye.
As you can see, not everybody is having the horrible week I'm having, which is very good. I hope nobody is having the same trouble I am right now. But I also have some amazing pitches for you to check out right now.
The Before Now and After Then, Peter Mann. To all of the kids who didn't think they were good enough, and the ones who are still hanging on, be brave. Life truly is a sweet experience. And to the real Rusty, wherever you are.
All right, guys. Well, that's about it for this week. I am going to go and try and beat this thing into submission. If you don't hear from me, maybe check in on Twitter to see how I'm doing, because it's given me some trouble. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe below. We love to hear from you. Have a wonderful week. And as always, happy, or maybe not so happy, writing.
Hi guys, my mommy needs some help.
Yes, I do. What I need is for you to send me in a pitch of your work, whether it is a work in progress, a querying piece, or a book that's already on the shelf. It does not matter what stage of publication you are in. I want to feature you. So, record a quick 30-second video, send it to me at authorconfession@gmail.com, and we will get you in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.